Founder Jeff Bezos was caught cheating on his wife, and the two have now announced that they're going to be divorcing. Uncoupling, I think, is the new term, isn't it? Celebrity uncoupling. This split could cost Bezos $140 billion, all because the guy can't, trends follow people. Now, no matter how you dress this guy up, this is the guy who his employees have to urinate in bottles. Most of them are having to get food stamps because he doesn't pay them enough. They're called pickers. They run all over these facilities getting items, and this is a bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to put it. The other part we go into very often, he's nothing more than a government spy. I mean, he works for the U.S. government, and you pick up with the cyber thing. I think this
right. It's the this AWS cloud service, which they've only recently started advertising for the public. But he has been doing that, providing this cloud computing storage areas for the Pentagon for years. Through the DoD, Jeff Bezos, for many years before Amazon was actually even turning a profit, was still making billions off of these government contracts. Because people don't understand, there was a long time where Amazon itself, up until just a couple years ago, was not turning a profit. So how did Bezos make all this money? Which, because the Pentagon, he's a war profiteer. Right. He's a defense contractor.
Yeah,
that's where it came from.
People don't even understand his role as a defense contractor. They don't understand. He's the spook who collects all this information and sells it. He takes orders from the government to do whatever they want to have him do. Look, let me just tell you, if you're talking to Alexa right now, okay.
Well, and here's just to add to that real quick, is it's not just our secrets that he has, but now since he owns the cloud, he's got their secrets too.
Yeah, he's got everybody's secrets. Well, look, here's the way I see this story. I don't care. I don't care about the sordid aspect of it, him sending penis pictures out. I mean, we've seen it with Weiner, right? We saw it with Weiner. We saw it with Elliot Spitzer. I don't know if you know this story, but I think you do. I put programs for lawyers on all over the country, people that are the top of the top trial lawyers in America. And one time I had a program out in San Francisco, and it was the year that we had Spitzer knocking around the idea I might run for president. It's out there. So we raised $250,000 for him out in San Francisco. And the second or third day of the program, somebody comes up to me and they said, I think I just saw Bezos in the elevator with
Spitzer.
Spitzer.
Wouldn't surprise me the other way.
But I think I just saw Spitzer in the elevator with two working girls. And I go, working girls, working girls. And so I said, well, what did you actually see? Well, he had his cap on and he had it way down on his face. He had jeans on. He looked like any man. I said, are you sure it was Spitzer? Well, I walked away from there not really believing what they were telling me. And then, of course, 2 years later, we find out, it's a true story. So here's the way I see the story. It's bad judgment, right?
Yeah.
We're raising $250,000 for him. We have people trying to come around him and help his career. It's Johnny Edwards, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Edwards, exactly the same thing. People raising money. Johnny's our guy. We want to help him. Bill Clinton, same deal. What's his name? Craig. What is it? Craig that was
Larry Craig.
Larry Craig, the Republican tapping his foot. So here's the point. People invest into these folks. They invest their time, they invest their beliefs, they invest their money, and when they do that, it's such a betrayal across the board. And you have to say, when you start seeing these types of things, bad judgment, especially in the position of Bezos. Bezos' bad judgment affects shareholders. It affects everybody who's doing business with this monstrosity that he continues to build. I think bad judgment is the bottom line here. What is your bottom line to all this?
Yeah, I agree 100%. And just to hit back on the John Edwards thing, because that one stings a lot to me. A lot of people who are doing this today, they have to look up John Edwards. They have to read about it and say, oh, wow, that's a thing that happened. we went through it. You know,
Well, he was here at the law firm. I was raising money for John Edwards.
We had him on Ring of Fire, and he was, up to that point,
perfect candidate.
Perfect. So progressive.
Yeah.
Had this, you know, poverty plan to lift all these people out of poverty. He was Bernie Sanders before people knew who Bernie Sanders was. Bernie was still doing the same stuff, but Edwards was out there talking about it first publicly.
Right.
And this was such a shining star, such a bright future for him. He would have been president.
Yeah.
But, oh, I got power, and now I'm kind of getting crazy, which is what seems to happen.
It's either power or money, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they burn out. But we look at it, and if you take all the sordid pizzazz out of it, it's really about people. It's like Bill Clinton. I mean, what did he do to the Democratic Party? I mean, really, what did he do to the Democratic Party? And so you say, I tell you, after Johnny Edwards, my talking point was there are no more heroes.
Right.
I tell people on this program all the time, don't try to build your world or your expectation around heroes. Heroes are a myth. Camelot is gone. Camelot was never hero-driven. I mean, it was something we wanted. It was a myth. We got to have heroes. There's something about the American mentality where we've got to have heroes. I'm saying get rid of all that. Be objective in how you look at people. I'll tell you, the Johnny Edwards things really did that to me. The Bill Clinton thing was a big problem.
Right.
But then the Johnny Edwards thing, because we had done so much, as you know, for both. And then you just have to say, I don't know. I don't think this whole thing about heroes makes any sense. Don't do it. What's your take?
No, again, 100% agree, because now we look at the way people look back at Obama and say, God, that was a perfect guy, a perfect president. They're trying to build heroes where they don't exist. They're trying to build Beto O'Rourke as this savior of the party, Pelosi as the savior of the party. They don't exist. These mythical figures, they don't exist.
The cavalry ain't coming, okay? You remember the old Westerns where, you know, the folks are pinned down, the wagons are over, they're out of food, they're out of ammunition, they're being circled by the bad guys, and it's their last stand, and all of a sudden, the cavalry comes over the hill. The cavalry ain't coming, okay? We are the cavalry. The hero worship is killing both parties.
Yeah.
I think it's affecting the Democrats worse. To tell the truth.
100%.